We had a big show last night. We talked all about the VOXADPOCALYPSE. And tonight, I want to get your take on exactly that right after this. Hello, everyone, and welcome once again, and for the first time, perhaps for some, to the Video Call-In Show, that show that invites you to be a live guest on this program every weeknight, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, to talk about anything you'd like to talk about. You knew that was going to make me laugh, Ed. Doesn't matter if it's the weather, current topics, current events, personal promotions, you name it. This show is for you to talk. I am your host, Jim, and I am here for about the next hour to listen and learn about you. So, having said that, last night we had a fantastic. Oh, by the way, if that's content that you think you'd like, by all means, hit that subscribe button. And if you're watching this on Facebook Live as we speak, then go ahead and like this page and come back for the next show. So, like I said, last night I had a show that was devoted specifically to VOXADPOCALYPSE, which is the feud between Steven Crowder and Carlos Maza that has brought YouTube or put YouTube in a very sticky situation. The reason I am broadcasting on two different platforms tonight, and I hope they're smooth. Yes, you have originally, or Riley. Yes. If hang on just a minute. Okay, you're a mod. And I forgot. Oh, it's because YouTube went down for a few hours this evening. There was no live streaming for, as far as I could tell, anyone. Although I did hear reports that some people were able to go live. I know that some of the people that I normally watch could not go live until about, I think it was an hour and 10 minutes ago, give or take. So, having said that, coincidence? I don't know. No, but yeah, YouTube completely reversed their decision on that. Steven Crowder is more popular than ever. But then again, so is Carlos Maza. And after having done all that, I had Andrew from Pusa Studios on last night. It was fantastic because we got to talk really in depth about what that meant, or what we thought that meant at least, because this is still developing. This is not a story that is but a week old, and it still continues. I mean, it's so many people are being demonetized over YouTube's vague policies, especially the ones that they re-released the same day that they demonetized Crowder. I want to let you know something that I found extraordinarily strange last night after the show. Now, I'm going to let you in on a little secret, and it's probably not a secret. Most of you are probably doing the same thing. I have several YouTube accounts. Well, one of those accounts is also one of my subscribers. In other words, one of my other accounts subscribes to Video Call-In Show. And the reason I do that is because I get to look at it from the outside and see how things are going, look at the videos, make sure everything's okay, see what kind of notifications I get, that sort of thing. Well, every night when I get done, I pop on that account and I look at my YouTube recommended page. And it seems like every single night, the first video, top left video, is my latest Video Call-In Show video. Live stream. Sometimes it'll be, if it's on a weekend, it'll be one of the guest cuts if I put out guest cuts over the weekend. Last night, it was an old one. It wasn't last night's show. Now, I tagged the shit out of that with VOXADPOCALYPSE. Oh, it's a Pusa Studio raid. Sweet. Let me do this before I get into that any further. I've got to say hello. I didn't say hello to anyone in the chat last night. I apologize. Was blind. I saw you there last night. Welcome, Sparks Family TV. Hey, you're more than welcome to. You've still got a couple hour or hour and a half or so. I'm not gonna say hello to Nightbot. Still working, by the way. Bob Dip, how you doing? YouTube is afraid, and they should be. Wisco Style. Jared, it's been a long time since I've seen you, dude. Drone Kings in Darwin, how you doing, Brad? Susan Hamilton, always good to see you. Riley Finchfield Food Reviews. I made you a mod, my friend, because you were on one of the panel shows, and you seem like a pretty good guy. Emmanuel Goffey, good to see you back, my friend. We all know Ed from Flash in Your Pan. Thanks for being here, Ed. Sorry you didn't get to go live tonight, bud. I was there waiting to see what was going to happen on that, and you were one that got caught up in it. Who else do we have? We've got Creator Spotlight. How you doing? Mike, good to see you. Jesse Mendez, always good to see you, man. Gingerlock's mom, the Ginger commentator. Welcome to the show. Viewed this, Tony. How you doing? Chills TV, good to see you, my friend. Scratch Aholic 777. Coming from Pusha. Awesome. Good to see you here, my friend. Walker Farm, or Walker Fam, I'm sorry. Good to see you. Ward Spouse Spoose with from Pusha with love. God love that couple. They are some good folks. Good folks. Like I said, he was on last night. It was an awesome show. It was a great talk that we had. Hair That's Happy, good to see you. Coffee Music, good to see you, my friend. Kidney Jerk, new one. Welcome to the show, my friend. Kylie and Jordan Squad, good to see you as well. Good Lord. For someone who had to wait for like 45, no, it was an hour 45 before they could go live. You had a good crowd. I'm a Black Rose. Black Rose, welcome. Kiwi Mott Reacts, welcome to the show. Arthur Moorhead, good to see you again, my friend. Johnny Avante, welcome to the show. Premier Hill, I love that name. Welcome. NKM, howdy. Italian Eddie Ralph, good to see you, my friend. Have I missed anyone? Oh, you're like, and Brenda Canada. Now, I've seen you before. Good to see you again. Nomadic Bike, how you doing, buddy? Slipping Freedoms. Oh, you would have loved last show. Welcome to the show, my friend. I don't think I've missed anyone else. Oh, Grant McIntosh, welcome to the show. Cherry or Sherry, Awesome Sunset Travel. That sounds like a cool site. Welcome to the show, everyone. I so appreciate you being here, and thank you for the Pusha. I keep calling it Pusa. Raid, that's fantastic. Redneck Connections here. Hello, guys. Hello. Well, anyway, getting back to what I was saying. Yeah, I thought it was really odd that video was absolutely not in my recommended, and that's the first time that I can remember it not being the first video in my recommended slot. So take that for what it's worth. It's probably just coincidence, but here we're talking about 7 months worth of seeing my videos and clicking on to make sure everything's going on okay, and suddenly it's gone. I don't know. I even put the entire transcript. Well, I shouldn't say transcript. It was all the notes I jotted down in my attempt to make something somewhat, where I wasn't stumbling all around like I am right now, and come off with a good show, because I had a lot to say, and that's one of the things that helps me collect my thoughts, is make notes, at least outline, but these are all the notes. And again, we're also on Facebook Live, and I should actually be over there and see if anyone is chatting, because this is the first time on this channel I've done a simulcast, and I because YouTube was down, I thought, well, let's hedge our bets. There's also some more people, guys. This is a show for those of you who are new. This is the Video Call-In show. This is a show that invites any of you, any of my audience, to come on this show at any time to talk about whatever you want to. It could be the topic of the day, which is what I do. I pick a topic of the day at least 4 out of 5 weeknights. My Friday night show is a full panel, but I'm on live every weeknight, Monday through Friday, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, joining is real easy. All you've got to do is use this link right here. There's another one just like it in the description. That includes Facebook. And all you've got to do is put that in your browser. That'll get you started with download. Now, if you don't want to download Zoom, that's fine. All you've got to do is visit zoom.us and let me know in the chat whether or not I'm herky-jerky, if anything starts buffering or anything. But all you've got to do is use that zoom.us, put that in your browser, click on join a meeting, and when it asks you for a meeting number, there is your meeting number. Now, you'll show up on my board And when I'm done with a previous guest, I'll bring you up in order of call in. So that's how this show works. And I so appreciate y'all being here. I know I've missed some other folks before I bring up my first guest. And by the way, when I'm with a guest, feel free to go ahead and call in because you'll just be in the queue. I'll have to stop your video for a moment, but you will actually be in the queue, and that helps me know how long I should spend with each person. So who else did I see here? I also saw Barry Cherry. Welcome to the show, my friend. And someone else. Oh, nope, I've seen that. Awesome. This is awesome. I love raids. I've done a few myself. Free to laugh now. How you doing? And they are fantastic. It only helps us out as creators. Now, Nightbot will be going along as this show progresses and tell you that it's not a sub for sub. Don't ever go for sub. Not only is it a bad idea for the host of the show, but it's also a bad idea for you. They're empty subs. YouTube has picked up on it, and it'll hurt you more than it'll help. So, by the way, everybody, if you get a chance, go ahead and hit that like button. When you figure out you like this video, you don't have to do it right now. When you figure out you like what I'm doing, hit that like button. And if you have a Facebook presence, I would really appreciate it if you share that. Look at Ed. Ed is already messaging me on Facebook. Make sure if you would share that out to your Facebook tribe, that would be fantastic because who knows what's going to happen with YouTube and this live stream sort of thing. Mike, I'm going to stop your video if I can. Last time I couldn't do this. Okay, well, shoot. I'm going to put you on hold. So you'll have to, Mike, you'll have to watch the YouTube video while you're on hold, and then I'll ask to start your thing again. So, having said all that, let's do this. Let's bring in our first guest, shall we? I don't know what he wants to talk about, but we're going to find out. Ed, can you hear me?
I can hear you fine. You look good over at Facebook, but I'm the only viewer. I shared it though.
Well, thanks, Ed. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. I
Hey,
I'm
no problem, my friend.
I'm getting a ton of thumbs up. I don't know how that's happening, but you know how they start flying. Whoops, I got a Robert. I know who that is. That's
That's me
Bob Dip.
rapid fire.
Bob, I'm going to put you on hold. Keep watching the YouTube video until I call you up, and then watch the Zoom video when we're talking. It is a little laggy. Now, Andy from We Dig Metal Detecting, welcome to the show. By the way, I hope our little chats have helped out. Let me know which or if it's both, if you would. I'd appreciate that because
On Facebook, it's a little laggy.
a little laggy. Yeah, I
Yeah.
I was afraid of that. Well, see, you know what they're doing? They're setting you up with automatic parameters now, so you can't choose your bit rate and all that kind of thing, and this happens. I think that's why
Oh,
actually.
really? Even in through your encoder, you can't. So
Well, I could, but that would mean low quality for both. I would rather just be able to
true,
customize
true.
like I used to be able to. I just can't do that.
Right. Okay.
So
Right on.
what's up, Ed? Good to see you again, man.
Not much. From what I understand, Louder with Crowder is on the upper side of all those Fox cry.
When you say upper side, what do you mean by upper side? You mean he's in the right
Uh,
on this?
it's backfiring on what's his face from
Car
Fox.
Yeah, Carlos Maza. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. So
Uh,
they're telling me that I'm laggy on YouTube. That sucks.
oh well, I'm watching Zoom. I'm not actually watching YouTube. So
Yeah, ours should be crystal clear, Ed, between the two of us. I want to make sure that I mean, I'm watching my streams just struggle with a throughput, but
well,
we're gonna
I tried like 5 times to get our show live at 8, and it wasn't going. Even though you came in the room, and well, you're normally there before your show anyway, which is greatly appreciated. Love seeing you there. But I know you came in and gave me a heads up, and I asked Jesse. I have this total. The show must go on no matter what type mentality until it's futile. I'm not crazy, you know. So if I try so many times and the result's the same, eventually I'm gonna say, okay, let's reschedule and do it again. So, but a lot of my community is now part of your community, which I think is totally awesome, and they're really understanding, which is awesome. You
Oh
know,
yeah.
it's my favorite day of the week besides Friday.
And YouTube ruined it for you.
Yeah.
Somebody tripped over a cord, knocked out half the live stream capability of.
I have some of our community from the mining community over on Facebook right now. Ray Russo, our friend from Juneau, Alaska.
I see that.
Michael Anderson.
Yeah.
Little buffering. We're aware of that, Michael. Thank
We are.
you very much.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, and I don't know how much of that is YouTube's fault because I noticed even when people were able to live stream tonight, it was pretty sketchy.
Did you just read what Jesse said?
No, I didn't.
Jim, you kept him from freaking out on me and Dano. I do get pretty stressed before the show, and if things aren't falling together, I get more stressed, and I'm like, "Ah, rah, 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 rah." And Jesse's like, calm, man, this. And when I know it's getting bad, he'll say, this ain't fun no more. And I try and pull back on my reins.
Oh yeah. Well,
Hey, Andrew, how you doing, Pusa Studios?
I'm glad I can help. Is Andrew in here? Andrew, how you doing?
Lovely wife.
Good to be seeing you. Mm-hmm. Hearts Adventures is in here. How you doing? I saw some other. Oh, I saw Magic Jones. How you doing, Jason?
Yeah,
Good to see you, my friend.
Excellent.
Always good to see you. Oh, and Lloyd, the Grumpy Vlogger, is here too. How you doing, buddy? Thanks for the exchange on one of my videos, dude. You're a hell of a guy. I'd like to have a beer with you, actually.
Come on over on YouTube, Ray. Sorry about that, Jim.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, if you guys want to come over and watch it on YouTube, that is fine. If you want to watch it on both, that's fine too. It looks like I'm down to 6 frames per second over here on Facebook. That's awful.
Yeah.
Well, what are you gonna do?
Laggy over there.
Yeah.
I may. Have pretty good systems now.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least mine's more comparable to yours now.
Yeah, and my system's not balking at all. It's literally the streams, which is it could be YouTube, it could be my pipe. You never know. I haven't done any sort of troubleshooting on it whatsoever. Pneumatic bike. So you say that Crowder's not necessarily in the right because this is there's so many gray areas.
From what I've seen in the few short, like 3 videos I watched between me making my short pre-recorded explanation video or whatever with our guest for tonight.
Mm-hmm.
We did do a pre-recorded video about 30 minutes. I put it up, said goodbye to Dano and Jesse, and then I watched a couple of videos on it, and they were pretty much showing the hypocrisy and both sides. They were balanced, but pretty much how it did nothing but boost Louder with Crowder and his mug club. He was given a $30 coupon code.
Yeah, discount
for his year subscription, and it just boosted like overnight. Just the most sales in one night.
Did you hear what they did? They actually they named Carlos Maza the employee of the month because he had sold so many mug clubs But yeah, you like you said, they were ignoring. There's like, no, 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 no. I don't need the discount. I want to support what you guys are doing, which I thought
Right.
was remarkable. That was fantastic. And from my perspective, it's more about free speech than left and right. So
It is.
so I
It
was
is.
yeah, I was real happy to see people taking that extra step. Very, very happy. I did go ahead and subscribe to Crowder after watching even more of his stuff, just to just to watch and see how this thing develops. I am not a Mug Club member, except for my own and yours.
Yeah. I don't have yours handy, but
That's
it's
okay. I don't either. It's right over there. It's right over there, though.
same with me. It's right over there. I usually watch Louder with Crowders when it's like prove me wrong things or change my mind.
Oh, changed my mind. I've heard of those. Yeah.
When he goes on campuses and stuff and he
Yes.
sets up a booth and yeah, there's some touchy subjects, I guess you could call them, especially on a lot of campuses these days.
Hmm.
And I always like those. You know, he's not left, he's not right,
Well, he's a self-described libertarian.
he's a libertarian.
Hmm.
Yes,
Yep.
and so
Which is why he shows up on my feeds. I've said that a lot. I'm not a hardline libertarian, but I'm more libertarian than probably either one of the other sides. Absolutely.
yeah, probably me too.
Yeah. And I'm that's funny too because I always thought that if the Libertarian Party were to do things right, one, they wouldn't concentrate on the presidential election. I hate to get down this road, Ed. I'm sorry, but I want to get
I
this
don't
off my chest. They should start grassroots, and they should literally use that as part of their back off some of the extraordinary stuff and use that as their draw. You're probably more libertarian than you think, and then tell them why. You know, I just think they're missing all
I
kinds of
think about it.
huh. Oh well, I'm just
A lot of people, we do need a third party in there and mix up the old uh how it's been forever.
yeah,
You know,
the stagnation of the two-party
yeah,
system. Yeah, and it wouldn't be the first time in Americans' history. We're talking about what the Whig Party, the Bull Moose. I'm sure there's more that have actually made it. At least mainstream. We smiling about. I'm missing something in the chat.
on Facebook. Well, one of my sound panels dropped on my wall. It's on a cinder block wall.
Oh.
So what I had that particular one adhered with, it's not doing the greatest job, and it slipped down. So I reached back and I lifted it back up, placed it in place, and I got really close. And Michael Anderson over on Facebook's like, "What chin on? Up on you? Or what? Look on your chin, Ed."
I saw that. By the way, folks, if you've got a question for me or my guests during the show, by all means ask it. But yeah, tag me, kind of like Pusa Studios just did. Yeah, so doing a few things, but still listening to. Yeah, that's the best way to get a hold of your host. Absolutely, and that's just an @
Yeah.
sign and the exact. If you're on mobile, you've got to type in the channel name exactly like it's written. Otherwise, an @ sign and two of the first two letters, it should pop up. So. Well, Ed, it's 10:24. I'm gonna head to the next guest if you don't
I know
mind.
you have a line behind me. I know Bob Dip's in there and Mike's in there.
Yep.
So, yeah, I wanted to get in my 2 cents worth. And last night with Andrew was great. It was cool listening to the two of you. As always, have a great one, my friend. It's always good seeing you. Until next time, may you always have a flash in your pan.
Thanks again, Ed, man. It's always nice having you on the show. I know this won't be the last one.
See you around, too.
Take care, buddy. Alrighty. Yeah, now, folks, like I said, um, when you decide that you like what I'm doing, when you decide you like a particular video or dislike, by all means, smack that like or dislike button, and go ahead and tweet it out if you'd like as well. It's always nice to have, you know, several people available at any given time, because that makes it more interesting for you folks. Am I right? Right now, I'm asking my next guest to start his video, and I've unmuted you. Hey, Mike, can you hear me?
Yep. Is that working?
It is working. How you doing, man?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm just fine. Now, I
Awesome.
want.
You feeling better?
Am I feeling better?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not really.
I really didn't feel bad necessarily. Let me first get your channel up there. Okay. Is that a capital D in Doozy? Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
All right, we'll start with that, and then I'll finish it out the rest of the minute.
Yeah. Don't worry. Now, I'll have a bunch of random traffic going to my channel now.
Yeah, you will, won't you?
It's a secret.
Is that really a bad thing, though? Yeah.
If like 40 people click on and click off.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
No,
it's all good.
I wasn't necessarily angry. I know I was serious, and you've got to have that sort of. Is it a spotlight show or just spotlight?
The creator spotlight show.
Okay. And yeah, like I said, I wasn't angry, but I was serious, because I take what YouTube has done very seriously.
Right.
I think they've really kind of screwed the pooch several times, and the blackout, the live stream blackout notwithstanding.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it seemed like I was angry. Well, pardon me, Mike. I was actually angry. I'm angry at what they're doing and how they're handling it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm feeling better. Thanks. I'm gonna put you in hold, Arthur. Hang on just a minute, my friend. And you can watch the YouTube video until I ask for you to start your camera, right? Cool. So.
Yeah, it won't take too long. But
okay.
If you want to put more people on a panel, that's fine with me.
I'm not gonna do a panel, but tell me what were your thoughts on this whole mess?
Well, I just wanted to mention real quick, like politics aside,
Mhm.
and because it could go right or left, and it comes down to people, YouTube is a little different. It's not like everybody says it's just freedom of speech, but they do own the platform, so you can go down the rabbit hole with that.
Mm-hmm.
But the way they handled it, like what you were talking about, what concerns me is where, all right, they said Crowder didn't break any terms of service, so they couldn't just delete his channel. So then they came up with these updates or whatever, and to demonetize them, they made it borderline content.
Yes.
And that's when it gets into like gray areas like that. I like to know you can do this, you can't do that. And when it leaves a wide thing, not a little narrow gray area. This is like huge. That they've got like the algorithms and AI and that scrubbing through all these videos and trying to find like stuff that matches hate speech and all these things. And then they've got people who sitting there deciding like, which ones do get demonetized and which ones doesn't. And, and what guidelines are they following? And, it even goes into beyond that, it goes into like conspiracy theories,
Mm-hmm.
Like flat earthers and anti-vax. And, I'm not defending, I'm not saying the earth is flat or anything, but, if people, want to believe that, they have their videos up, they're like all of a sudden, they're deeming that like, you can't have that and demonetizing it. I don't see the part where, where they're going to draw the line, if somebody believes in Bigfoot, or, where do you draw the line on borderline content?
Exactly. And that was my point, really. It's like there is no line. I mean, the line can move anywhere they want to. And to me, and I'm sure to you as well, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
That is terrifying. And we're not just talking about content on YouTube. I watched a video today that was talking about Jimmy Kimmel, who is, he's a darling of the left now, having a late night talk show. And, he's praising Women's Day and all that. And then you go back to look at what he did on the Man Show.
Yeah.
And yeah, even that darling can be taken down in a heartbeat if they would decide to evenly administer these guidelines. To me, that is absolutely terrifying, and I can't fathom uh, how they can justify any of it, really.
No, I don't understand. I mean, if we came on here and talked about like the outage that just happened, and they're saying the glitch happened and glitches have been happening, but what if we started talking about maybe they just turned the switch off to pivot away from this talk? Now everybody's not talking about this; they're talking about YouTube's down again. Maybe they, and you start talking like that, they say, hey, that's a conspiracy theory, and demonetize your channels.
I know. Well, here, if they ever get a hold of my last two videos, there would be a good chance that they would find something to demonetize me over if I were monetized. But they could also find videos that they'd want me to take down for some sort of arbitrary reason. Well, arbitrary, that's not the right word, but you know what I mean. Some sort of trumped up charge that no matter how valid, I haven't done anything that I know of that would that would bring about that sort of thing. But I have tackled some pretty controversial subjects, and I guess what's terrifying is it you don't even know where that line is drawn and how how
Right.
yeah
Or not even just online. What you're doing, the rest of your life. I mean, now you've got to edit, everything that you do because you're an online presence.
Yep. That's an awful thing to live with for all of us, I think. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, how many of us? I mean, we're older guys, like the young kids are just starting. I mean, how many skeletons do we have in our closet?
Oh, I know. Well, I guess if there were a silver lining at all, it would be that the young kids might learn from this and not create any skeletons.
That's right. Well,
I don't know.
that's the one thing now is the curtain's pulled back on everything. The people maybe lots of the stuff that went on behind the scenes and everything years ago. That your life can be in public now. Maybe some people think twice before doing some not so nice things.
Yeah.
So,
Quite possible. I don't know, dude. I hope this comes out in such a way that that we're all winners. I'm not gonna hold my breath, nor am I that optimistic, but there's always hope. There's always hope. So
cool. Well, I just want to bring that up, and I know you've got people waiting. You got a short show tonight, so I'll let you move on to someone else.
All right. Well, thanks, Mike. I so appreciate you being on, man. We'll do this again. Sound good?
Yeah. Appreciate it.
All right, buddy. Take care.
Alrighty.
Folks, I've closed the meeting for now. I've got two more folks waiting to come on. I had three. Arthur dropped off. And we'll see how it goes. If we get these in good enough time, why, I will certainly open the lines back up. But for now, we're going to get up on the program. Bob, you've got to choose a microphone, my friend. I don't see it. But go down to the lower left of your Zoom interface, click that up arrow next to the microphones, and you should see the one that you'd like to use, whatever microphone you'd like to have active. Wisco, Jared, we'll see you, buddy. Thanks for being here. And I know you're a busy man. Thanks so much for being here tonight. I appreciate that. While we wait for Bob. Yeah, I mean, that whole thing is just absolutely terrifying to me that that you can be judged so quickly and so swiftly without any what's the term I'm looking for, without any real measuring stick. Because they had a measuring stick. They measured Crowder to that measuring stick, found out that he was fine. And then they had to change the rules. The change of the rules is the most frightening thing to me, because that means that anything goes. You cannot be too careful, because they can use anything they'd like to demonetize you or deplatform you, and that's an awful thing. And I think it's up to us. I also wanted to say this last night. I did not say this last night, Bob. I still can't see your microphone, my friend. So look for it. I'll give you a few more minutes and then I'll bring up another guest who's in the wings. There it is. There it is. All right, Bob. Whoops. Wait for you once again. Bob, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can. How you doing?
Pretty good.
Now,
Well,
this is Bob Dip in the chat. Hang on, Bob. This is Bob Dip in the chat. He's doing audio only, so you're gonna have to look at my ugly mug while we talk. All right, Bob. How you doing this evening, man?
well, I'm doing pretty good, and I'm saving everybody the torture from looking at my ugly mug. And one, I do agree that these outlets like YouTube will always say we believe in free speech, but under the breath goes as long as we agree.
Yes.
And unfortunately, that's not free speech. But my other reason for calling in is earlier this year, I made a promise that if I get 100 subscribers, I would start doing get a camera and do videos.
I remember that.
So I got a camera. I tried to download my first video, and it told me that there was an error. So I tried redoing it. Then it told me it was too long. So I tried editing it down, and it told me that there was objectionable content.
Wow.
So first chance I get, I'm going to try redoing it, leaving out anything I figure they might figure is not free speech. I figure doing that, I'm going to end up leaving out quite a few of the comments that I would like to say. Most of my subscribers came through the show. So I'm taking this opportunity to say, those of you who have subscribed to me, thank you very much for showing confidence in me. I'll try to do my best to give you the best content I got.
Very good. That's very nice of you to do, Bob. By the way, what did I just see? I don't remember. Yeah, that's cool, and I'm so I feel so bad for you that your first video upload turned out that trying. But I'm sure, and how would they know if it's so let me get this straight, Bob. I'm trying to sort this out in my head. So you actually uploaded the video, but they wouldn't let you publish it because they determined it was content that wasn't approved. Is that right?
Well, they said the content wasn't approved, so I figured that's why it took 2 hours for them to even try 8 hours to even try uploading the last one.
Oh, I see.
And then on top of that, as I said, first one, there was an error. Well, unfortunately, I fell asleep and the computer went to sleep mode. So when I redid it, told me that the video was too long. I tried to get that permission to go over the maximum amount, and they told me my phone number didn't exist. So I figured, okay, I'll just shorten it down. Which then I realized that it didn't really make much sense, but then to me, I'm looking at it as well as a blessing in disguise. I could at least redo the video completely, as according to my original promise. I do not want to edit my videos. It's me 100%. As I said on another live show, you be you.
Yes, absolutely.
So my content will be true to what I believe that people I want to see and other people want to see.
Awesome.
Getting back to time limit, I found out that YouTube enacted that time limit. I didn't get the exact date, but it was back in February. They reduced the time limit to most of the videos down to 15 minutes. So unless you're doing a live or you've already got a previous okay, you're limited to only 15 minutes at your videos.
Yes, absolutely.
So I don't think So I don't think YouTube really wants to monetize. Well, pay you for your for the money that you make off of your videos. You want to monetize it, but not pay you. That's the best way I can figure it out.
Yeah, and my theory was that, you know, actually, I didn't have a theory for why they actually went to the 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 watch hours, um, because we all know that that created just an entirely new subset of problems. But I think they were trying to crack down on those people who were just putting up crap, and then the advertisers were complaining because their ads were showing on garbage videos. I get that, but I think there was a better solution. One would make everyone scramble to that 1,000, 4,000, and two, everyone makes money. I don't know that they care so much that the creator makes a little bit off of that because it's no skin off their nose necessarily. But that's my take on it.
Well, now that I've done the download process, I believe that the creators should get the pay for their time frame and all that.
Yep.
And if people want to watch it, let them get paid for pennies on the minutes as the originally promised, and let them enjoy.
Yes, absolutely. But what?
But then I don't think, as Ed said with on his substitute show today, to some people, money and gold is a greed thing. They're best friends until the money factor gets put into the mix. And YouTube was doing fine until they got a bean counter and says, no, you can get more money if you can do this. And I noticed that, I mean, I don't do too much background checks into companies and that, but when I do, it's because I see a change that did not make sense. When I did a background check on YouTube, I found out there was a change in the accounting staff at YouTube, where a lot of people, not to mention the upper echelon, was more or less pushed out the door.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But what can I say? I can't prove why there was a change in staff or certain members of the upper echelon was pushed out the door, but
yeah, all we have is conjecture at this point. And by the way, my non-traditional life, welcome to the show, my friend, is as a sideline there, says, I thought it was only limited to 15 minutes if you do not verify your email and phone. And I think that's what they've done, because it used to be, while you were new, you were limited to shorter videos. But I think once you verify via email or phone, then you can put up longer videos. I think he's absolutely right. They're absolutely right.
Yeah, but it kept telling me my email did not exist and my phone did not exist.
Oh, that's too strange.
I know. I'm sitting there going, maybe they want to see me put up a couple of short videos and see if I get anybody to watch. And if that's the case, then they'll probably say, okay, yeah, all right. We'll acknowledge that you exist.
Yeah. Well, it's like anything else, Bob. You just got to keep plugging at it until it does work. That's about the only thing I can say about that. I hope it does, because I'm excited to see your stuff, man. You've been in my chat for many moons now, and I've seen you in several other shows across the YouTube landscape, and I'm looking forward to it, my friend.
Well, I was thinking of doing it this year myself, but financially, I says, well, if I get enough subscribers, I'll do it. Because I wasn't really into a position where I can just start spending money for this, that, and the other thing. Got my hands on a camera. Right now, this call I'm using used the Android I got off of a friend that the camera shot on it. But it works. And only thing I could say right now is I'll do what I can with the best I can with what I got, and hopefully I can get some good content out there. And I figured out that no matter how I look at it, when I'm doing at the river or out metal detecting, a little editing is going to happen.
Yeah.
But I'm going to have to do that. But I don't know exactly. I mean, everyone tells me I'm a virtuoso on the grill and the smoker, so I might just do a couple of those just for the hell of it.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Those channels. Go ahead.
Unfortunately, I think I'll make you hungry.
Yeah. Yeah. And for you folks that don't know, this number up here is my dietometer, for lack of a better term. I've been on a low carb diet for, what is it, 62 days? Might actually be 63. I don't know if I screwed that number up, but this morning I was 185. Actually, 184.8. I round up, and so it's really working out well. I'm doing it much slower than I normally do, but yeah, you start doing grilling movies, Bob, and I get locked into that, man. You're gonna pump my weight back up.
Well, at least you can go on a keto diet with what I cook.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Well, listen,
Well,
Bob. I can't wait to see your stuff. If you want to talk to me offline, by all means, send me an email, and maybe I can help you out with it, or maybe we can find some folks to figure out why that is. But because I'd like to see you. I know you want to create content. I want to see you start doing it.
well, I'm definitely going to try another shot at it. I was going to do a video outdoors, and yesterday it was raining all day, so I couldn't do that. So first chance I get, because the next 2 days it's going to be beautiful. So I'm going to get out there and make the content. And since I'm just going to be doing a crazy redneck rambling after this, I might as well say, well, I might as well let the next person on.
Oh,
but I do got to say one thing.
Sure.
As a prospector, maybe one day I'll meet you at the stream. And as a metal detector, swing low and find those beeps. And as a human being, and to my friends, remember, chronic illness is a condition that the person does not choose. It becomes a lifestyle forced upon them by their own body. So, everybody, remember, be kind to others as you want them to be kind to you, and be true to yourself. Love everybody, and I'll stay in the chat for a couple until the end of this show.
Fantastic. Thanks, Bob. I couldn't have said it better myself, even though I do say some of it myself. Thanks so much for being on the show, my friend.
Thank you for giving me my time.
Oh, you bet. And best of luck to you, all right?
All right.
All right. Take care. Alrighty. Now that's actually Bob Dip's second. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and remove you. Okay. And take off. Okay. Yeah, that's the second time Bob Dip's actually been on the show. He was on one of my panel shows, which I do every Friday night. And before I bring up my next guest, I wanted to address some things in the chat. Brad, Drone Kings and Darwin, if I haven't said hello to you, my friend, by all means. Oh, and Outdoorsy Gal Zero. That's killing me. Chrissy, welcome to the show, hon. But Drone Kings and Darwin says 1K also introduced to stop other things. Yes, it was. I don't know exactly what those are. If you guys know what those actually were, let me know. Grumpy Vlogger, keep doing what you're doing, Jim. Thank you. Thanks so much, Lloyd. Thank you. Good job. Thanks, Mike. I appreciate that. So I'm 12 kilograms. Thanks for educating a Yank, Brad. Oh man, such good people in the chat. Such good people. See, Chrissy, I would have missed that. What time is it on your hat? What time is it on your hat? Well, it's not a time. It's that's funny. It's the Indiana state flag. It does kind of look like a clock, doesn't it? Try to tag me, Chrissy, if you've got a question for me or the guests. I will miss it if you don't. All right. Who do we have next? I'm going to ask to start your mic there. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Shall I refer to you as the first name that you've typed in?
Sure, and my channel's My Non-Traditional Life.
Oh, My Non-Traditional Life. Wonderful. Well, this is Miriam from My Non-Traditional Life. Let me go up and find out your last time you posted. Unless you can type something in the chat real fast, that would help me out. Because
Yeah.
oh no, I found it. Okay, here it is. Well, Miriam, welcome to the show. By the way,
Yeah, I'm just coming over from Pusa Studios.
Perfect. And that's Miriam, right?
Yeah, Miriam.
You'll learn really fast, Miriam, that I'm a horrible speller. There we go. Then there's Miriam. How are you, Miriam?
Good. I think you did spell it wrong. Wait,
Did I?
Yeah, the A and the I are reversed.
Oh, it sure is. And I'm not even dyslexic. There we go. Yeah, how are you, Miriam?
Doing well. I had two main points that I wanted to bring up.
Sure.
That I've been thinking about. Okay, so the first one is I feel like with all the changes that YouTube is making, one of the thoughts that I've had is like, well, what do I need to do as someone who's been on YouTube for so long? If you don't mind me giving some background.
I absolutely do not mind. Tell everybody what you're about. That is so cool on this channel.
Mm-hmm. So I've been on YouTube since 2012. I started in middle school and now I'm in college. So I've kind of like grown up with making my channel. And I've never had a copyright strike or a community strike, except for I did have one on my school channel when my teacher made us do a video essay, and the movie that I was using for my video essay got a copyright strike, but never on this channel. And I feel like every time YouTube makes these changes, I was in YPP before February. What was that? What was the year? But I was in it for so long. Like I said, I never really like violated anything, and my content especially used to be very ad safe because I used to make how to draw videos, but now I'm vlogging and it gets a little bit more controversial, I guess. But especially when I was making how to draw videos, there was nothing particularly controversial or not ad friendly about it. Like drawing a wristwatch, like who cares?
Right.
And I see these changes and I see like all these features that you can't do. Like I'm not even on YouTube for the money. I'm doing it because I love making videos. And I always think back to like, well, what am I supposed to be doing? I keep up with all the updates. I keep up with, all the features, and my channel is still really small 7 years later.
Well, that's the thing, right? They've just given us no real hardcore rules to follow. I mean, we don't even know when we do cross the line. And I feel as bad for any other creator. I don't feel bad for myself because this for me is a hobby, kind of like what you were saying. You don't care to make money on this. You just love doing videos. I love doing these live streams. I love talking to people, getting folks like you and to give your opinion and to learn more about you. Thanks again from coming over from Pusa. But yeah, that's the really rough thing about it, is because there are a lot of people who do want to use this as their and already do as their sole source of income. And now, because they don't know where the lines are drawn, that is in constant flux. That would be horrible.
Yeah. I mean, do you remember back to when we used to have video responses? I remember when they removed that a couple years ago. I was so upset. It's a really cool feature, and they removed it because people were misusing it. And I understand that it was problematic, but it also just steered YouTube away from being a social media platform.
Yeah, I agree. I remember that. Was it only a couple years ago? I thought it was more than that, but
it was like around when I first started my channel, so that was around, like I said, 2012, and I remember they got rid of it within like maybe a few months to maybe a year after I started.
Oh, okay, yeah. Because I remember way back when, because I was uploading several years ago, usually band videos, try to elicit bookings, but I wasn't doing anything really serious. So I kind of stepped away from YouTube, and then I noticed just recently, I thought, you know what? They used to have response videos, and they no longer have them.
Yeah, I mean, there's all these features that like are just useful for creators. Like why can't we use content ID if we're not in YPP? I don't get it. You build a tool and then you're restricting it from most channels.
Yeah, she's talking about the YouTube Partner Program for those of you who may not know. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. And it's, people make bad decisions all the time, and especially when you're a large corporation, there are too many, chiefs, not enough Indians. People have a tendency to start making rather silly decisions, not
Well, I
not
think a
thinking it
lot,
through.
and I think a lot of people forget that YouTube is, at the end of the day, a corporation.
Oh yeah, yep, absolutely. A very
And
large, a very profitable corporation, as is Google.
and they're showing it. I mean, they used to talk a lot more about community building and just getting to know each other, and now it's all about, hey, you have to get monetized, you need to be a brand. I hate this whole you have to be a brand thing. What if I just love making videos?
Oh, I know. Says the guy who has actually formed a brand around this.
Yeah.
But no, you're right. There's got to be a home for all different sorts, right? True corporate, people like me who like to brand, and then people who just want to create, just want to create. You as an artist, I totally get that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, my channel does not fit into a niche. I've tried, and that is when I needed to take a break. I took a break for a few months my senior year of high school because I needed to focus on school. And it was very hard to come up with new how to draw videos because my life was steering in a different direction. And then I was like, what kind of content am I going to make? I don't know what niche to go into now. And it was a lot easier when I was just like, hey, I'm just going to make videos to make videos and stop worrying about fitting into a certain niche. So now I call my channel like lifestyle vlogs, but
Mhm.
like they're not even really vlogs. They're kind of more like reflections.
Well, reflections based on your experience, your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like one video I made lately was like reflecting on how like the last term of college went and how I like underestimated myself, like things like that, where it's like something happens. I'm trying to do more vlogs like in the moment too, now that I upgraded my camera.
Mhm.
But a lot of them were like afterthoughts, not really like taking people into the moment of when it was happening, but more talking about it after something happened.
Well, there's got to be a term for that too. Not like the diary or something like that, because that's what it
Yeah,
sounds like, right? Yeah.
kind of, but it's, I mean, at the end of the day, they're just videos,
Yeah.
Like, why does it have to have a term for it? Why can't I just have a channel?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And don't get me started on categorization. Because try to fit this show in the categories that they ask you to place it in. Well, is it entertainment? Is it comedy? Is it people in blogs or people in vlogs? What is it? That it
There's
doesn't
and
cover.
there's no category for like that I've noticed for like what is it? There was something I made recently and I was like, this would fit better because I've been putting everything under like people and blogs, but like some of my content doesn't fit under that. Like, and it's not quite how to either. It's like somewhere in between.
Yeah, it's frustrating. It's frustrating. I think they're too right now. They're when they're not trying to get the lights back on. They're. Did you hear about that earlier today?
Yeah, I don't know how I keep missing the outages. Like every time I'm not on YouTube, it goes out. I kind of lucked out. I was out grocery shopping when it went out this time. I'm like, what? And that was the second point I wanted to bring up.
Sure.
Is like I feel like this time back when everything happened in February, it got plenty of coverage. But what's been happening lately with the outages and everything, it's not getting a lot of press. Like when I go into the tab page on Google, especially there's no statements from YouTube itself, which is upsetting.
Yes.
And then there's also not that many news stories. Like even just I'll go back to the tab now. There's Newsweek. You have a couple articles that are like not about this, but about like older apocalypse stuff. You have The Hill had an article that's only somewhat related, and there's just no coverage. Like forget like what source you think is okay or not. Like even just having anyone talk about it, there's just not a lot of like actual articles on it right now.
Here's a great question. I don't know how much of the creator spotlight Mike Van Doozy was up, and he was talking about that. Well, they could and it works into the conspiracy, or gets into the conspiracy theory sort of realm. But how much of that do you think is actually being suppressed?
It gets tricky because the problem is a lot of the news agencies themselves, not forget like left, right, center,
Hmm.
regardless, a lot of them are corporations and businesses themselves, and they want to make sure that they're not getting on YouTube's nerves.
Yeah.
So they have to think about, if they're going to start talking about YouTube, is it going to hurt them? Like even Vox makes a lot of YouTube videos. They have to be careful how they address this. So even Vox isn't going to necessarily put out a statement.
Yeah, yeah. And but they have. In fact, today I was looking at just hundreds of stories around it.
That's
Um,
interesting because it doesn't come up in the search results for, like I said, I went to the news tab and I was like, oh, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of articles on this, just like there was in the original Adpocalypse with PewDiePie.
right.
That got a ton of news coverage, but where's the news coverage for this?
Well, that's kind of where I was going because I don't know if you saw the start of the show, but I was talking about I have another channel that I subscribe to this channel, and after every show, I go up and I click my recommended, and I am the top left. This latest show is always the top left, first one from your subscriptions, whatever tonight's show was. After last night's show, I went up and looked at it, and the second video over was one of my guest cuts. There was no mention of last night's show on my recommended page at all. And I tagged the shit out of it with VOXADPOCALYPSE. Trust me. If you haven't seen that yet, go back and watch last night's show. You'll see what I'm talking about. And I was just talking about it, as things as I saw it. And then Andrew was actually on the show last night, which was awesome. But I found that to be extraordinary, actually, and a little too coincidental. And that's
Well,
that. Go ahead.
even when Patreon was taking people down, it got news coverage though.
Yes.
Like, do you remember that whole thing?
Yes. Yes. I do, absolutely. With Sargon. When it started with
Yeah.
Sargon of Akkad. Mm-hmm. Yep.
That was there was no way I wasn't going to hear about this. If I hadn't watched Pusa tonight, I don't think I would have known YouTube was down. Even though I've been on YouTube like throughout the day, I was on Twitter throughout the day looking at other stuff, and I probably wouldn't have found out.
Yeah. And I don't like to go down that conspiracy theory road, but it seems a little too convenient, don't you think, that those stories aren't showing up like they should? How I found them, you remember I told you that I found a lot of stories,
Mhm.
is I was watching other people who were covering it, and they found all these stories around it.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, what's the word? A new form of journalism where like people are posting on their own, but they're not necessarily formal journalists. I forget the term, but it's kind of like that. It's like self-reporting of like outages and stuff, and I don't know, because then you get oh, unless people are screenshotting that it's down, how do you know that some of these reports too, like on the one hand, it's kind of weird that people aren't talking about it, and on the other hand, it might be getting overcovered where people might be complaining that aren't actually having issues.
Yeah. 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 I just don't know. I find it really convenient, and and I'm gonna wait though. I'm not gonna pass final judgment until all the dust settles myself. Right now
Yeah.
I'm really pissed off at YouTube, but we'll just go
So
ahead.
when exactly did the Vox thing happen? I'm still trying to piece that together too.
It was like like not last week, but the end of the week prior.
So yeah, how was no one talking about it if it was a week ago?
Yeah, well, like I said, they were actually talking about it a lot. I don't know if they were talking about it on, well, if YouTube was serving any of that, because that goes back to my theory that perhaps they're suppressing a lot, at least the hashtag. And again, I hashtagged the hell out of my video last night, so who knows? And maybe even this one. It'll be fun to go look at this one later on tonight and see if it actually shows up on that other channel's recommended. But
Yeah.
I think for the most part that they're embarrassed by this whole thing. They handled it poorly, and I think they're saying, okay, let's just try to bury this as much as possible. Maybe somebody else said that maybe the outage was a deflection tactic. I don't know about that, but
Who knows? It could be something with beta broke it, with
Yeah.
all the stuff with beta.
yeah, really.
But they've been having trouble ever since, like, what was it, like 2016, the whole PewDiePie thing went down. Like, they just they've said they're working on it, but there's been no like good solution yet. And I do think they need to do something. They can't just ignore like a lot of the content that's been coming out that's more problematic. I mean, you can get into a whole debate on like where do you draw the line, which I agree. Like, it has been a little unclear, especially because they at first they were saying you need 10,000, but if you'd be grandfathered in, and then they said 1,000, and you know that part upsets me. But I do think they need to do something.
Yeah,
The
just a line.
problem,
Yeah, just
yeah.
a line. Give us a line. I don't care what that line is. It's your platform, but you got to give us a line.
I
Or
also think they need to be dealing with channels a little bit more individually. Like, there's certain bigger channels that have been known for a long time to have problematic content, and then instead of actually going after them, they're just doing a blanket, we're going to change our policy now.
yeah, yeah. Coincidentally enough, the same time they changed the policy on Crowder, which I thought was extraordinary.
Well,
Out.
instead of actually dealing with PewDiePie, they just changed the policy for everyone.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. And I think
across.
that's their that seems to be their MO really, which again is disconcerting. By the way, Outdoorsy Gal, no, I wasn't really hinting at the Illuminati. But you know, conspiracy things being what they are, I suppose they can be lumped in there. Uh, oh, and Chrissy didn't know that there was an outage. Yeah, it wasn't a YouTube outage necessarily, but no one could live stream from. I want to say it was about 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, all the way up until quarter till 9 Eastern Standard Time. I mean, it was almost like Forrest Gump was at the mic and they pulled the plug. But I think it was also just for a specific area, maybe the Northeast. I heard that as well. But these are all rumors flying around. So
Well, the problem is they haven't released a statement on it as far as I've seen. If YouTube just told us what was going on, it'd be a lot better.
yes, exactly. And if it was a deflection, they certainly would throw that out there to get the bump the other things off, off the front page if that was their intent. So maybe it was just an honest technical glitch. That happens. We all know that happens. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt on that one for sure.
There's still been a lot of glitches lately, though, with beta.
I know. I can't tell you how many times I've clicked return to YouTube Studio and it just closed the tab. And what?
My biggest thing is you can't navigate to your channel settings.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, when I wanted to change channel defaults when I renamed my channel recently, or I wanted to check on am I qualified for monetization now because I just reached a few months ago, I reached the 1,000 subscribers, but I'm still waiting on the watch time. And to actually navigate to it, you have to go back to Classic. I found no way to do it that does not involve Classic.
Yeah. Definitely a shortcoming. But hey, now you can see how many people have rung your bell for notifications in the analytics portion. That came out today. Yeah, absolutely. Both. I can't remember the different delineators, but yeah, if you go into your analytics, you for your channel, for the whole channel, not individual videos. I don't think, but yeah, you can see what percentage of your subscribers actually have rung the bell.
I still need to watch the Creator Insider video from today to see what all the updates were.
I haven't either. I actually saw that on the vidIQ live stream earlier today. But
Interesting.
yeah, it's kind of cool. But sometimes they work on problems that don't exist and ignore those that really need work on. But
well, they're reaching their big deadline now with VidCon being next month. Because they usually do big launches at VidCon, and I'm really curious to see what they do with that, because that's always the date that new things come out. They only have a month now, and I know because this will be the first year that I'm going to VidCon. So I've been really keeping an eye on that, and it's like, but what are they going to do? They've been working on changes all year. It's not like they're going to have a big announcement necessarily, and if they do, what is it going to be?
Yeah, that will be interesting. And they're gonna have some eggshells to walk on too, I'm sure.
Yeah,
that'll be fun to watch.
Interesting to see how people feel at VidCon.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Miriam, I'm usually only on for an hour on the weeknights, and we've pushed past that. No problem, because you're a joy to talk to. We could go on about this for hours, I think. So I'm going to have to invite you back on if that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of experience with YouTube. Like I said, I've been on here 7 years.
Well, it's always nice to hear from someone who has worked with it for a good long time. And
Right.
like I said, you're great to talk to, and I so appreciate you coming on the show tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. Like I said, we'll do this again, but that just means you'll have to call in on yet another night. Is that all right?
I just realized it's reflecting the image too.
Reflecting the image.
Yeah, on the video for some reason.
Oh, interesting. All right, I'm gonna have to go, and we will certainly talk to you later.
All right, have a good evening.
You too. Thanks so much. Well, folks, that turned out as good or better. No, not tonight, Chrissy. Not tonight. Little too serious a subject for deep dives, but I will be picking those up yet again when I just kind of open it up for folks. And but what a great show! I mean, this is exactly what I was hoping. We'd have several people on wanting to give their take on this relatively recent development, VOXADPOCALYPSE. It's not over yet. It's still a developing story, but you guys were fantastic in giving me your opinions on it. So I suggest if you guys haven't researched that, go back and look at my former video, last night's video. And if let me hide that. I'm not taking any more guests tonight. Yeah, go back and look at last night's video to learn a little bit more about it. Go search the internet. Hell, you can just search for VOXADPOCALYPSE and you'll find just you should find a ton of stuff. I don't think Miriam was finding anything, but I've seen a whole bunch. And maybe we'll pick this up as the story develops. But tomorrow night, of course, we're going to have another topic. Now, what I didn't announce last night, I meant to, is that I'm not going to do channel reviews and shout outs. I will shout out and do a review if you ask, but I'm not going to devote an entire show to it. I'd rather talk about other things. But if you guys want your channel displayed, if you want me to give my opinion of it, given what you know about my background, I'm more than happy to do it. But not anymore. I've just decided, made a command decision, and just decided I'd rather open it up to topics than that. So anyway, again, thanks to my guests for coming on. Thanks for everyone for commenting on what we think this means to all of us. I think we're getting a good rounded opinion on this, even though we have yet to see all of the chips fall, but we will, I'm sure. So let's pick this up later. Again, tomorrow night, join us 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for another topic. Thanks to everyone who came through from Pusa. Thanks for everyone in the chat. You guys were fantastic. I hope I answered all your questions. And of course, since you've been on the show, I will make you guys mods. Appreciate it. For all of you, those of you watching this after this video is processed, if this is the kind of content you're in love with, like I am, go ahead and click that subscribe button and ring that notification bell so you don't miss another episode. Maybe next time you'll be on the show. But for now, I'm going to leave you with this, as I always do. Make sure that you treat others the way you would want to be treated. If we all did that, this world would be a fantastic place. Thanks again, folks, and we will see you live.